Hello, welcome to the next episode to Just Listen to One podcast, and I am going to be talking about 30 celebrities who were canceled yet don't deserve it according to people out there like you guys and myself, or just people in general. So let's just get right into today's episode. So I am reading some things. I kind of briefly looked on this website that I'm looking at, and with these, I'm assuming some of these stories are quoted on some of these celebrities. So these celebrities opened up to it, and it's off of what they said. So I am assuming. So I just want to put that out there. And this website came out on September 15th of 2021. So I just want to let you guys know I am reading off of a website. Just a little bit of a disclaimer. So it might not be like, when I say it might not be me specifically, the reader who's reading this. So I just want to put that as a disclaimer. So it could be from the celebrity itself saying these things, or this person who is who has typed this, or the celebrity itself saying it word for word. So I just want to put that as a disclaimer so you know. So, with the first celebrity number 1 is Johnny Depp. As a male that was in a relationship with an abusive woman, this whole thing breaks my heart. I know how hard it can be to come out about, and how hard it is to be believed that all. And then, of course, as someone who starts putting pressure on the abuser, suddenly all of these allegations start coming out about you, and none of them true or accurate. But because she's a woman, she must be a victim, right? If my ex was upset about something, she'd rub the cat on my pillow. I'm allergic, so I'd be up all night coughing and squeaking. Then she'd blank, swear word, on me for staying up late. Then give me blank for sleeping the next day. My ex used to punch me in the face while I was sleeping. She couldn't stand my snoring. I go to work in the morning with a black eye. If she fell asleep first, it was okay. But she was always up late, so I'd have to go to sleep on the couch. But she'd insist to stay up late watching TV so I couldn't sleep on the couch. I fell asleep in the bathroom floor once out of sheer exhaustion. Sorry. So there's so many more examples, but at this point I feel for Johnny Depp 100%. And that was Johnny Depp's story. The second one is Jerry Crews, and it's a very short one, not completely gone, but Jerry Crews has issues getting work because he spoke out about being sexually assaulted during the Me Too movement. People assumed a man his structure couldn't be assaulted, and he gave names and people weren't very happy about. And that was Terry Crews' brief story. And then here is the third celebrity. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, so I will spell it out. I don't know how to pronounce it, but her name is Monica, and her last name is spelled Lewinski. So this is her story. Monica, judging from her Twitter account, she seems like a lovely person. It's a shame. Dave Chappelle said it best. Who hasn't sucked a blank they regretted? And Bill was charismatic dude too. Lots of people get into relationships with authority figures during lapse in judgment. But Monica has been a butt of joke because of it for 2 decades because of her lapse in judgment. Blank situation, she deserves better. Also, blank the person that said Monica doesn't deserve better. And that was kind of a brief story of hers, or someone knows the situation speaking on her behalf in their words. So, yeah. The fourth celebrity is Laura Dern. I think you pronounce that name, her last name. And this is kind of a unique case. When Laura played Ellen's girlfriend in the episode where she came out, she was blacklisted by an industry for nearly a decade, and some people would harass her to the point she ended up protection in public. She says her manager warned her she wouldn't get roles if she agreed to take the part of Ellen, but did so anyways. She went from Jurassic Park and being in a demand to everybody calling her. Obviously, she recovered, but she lost a decade of great Lauren Dern performances because of studios' perception that she was canceled by public's opinion playing a gay role. Here is celebrity number 5, and it is Britney Spears. Britney Spears, when she shaved her head bald, shaved her head and all that. No, I'm no fan of hers. The person who's writing this, she just seems like someone who cracked under all the pressure and lost her peep. Craig Ferguson did an absolutely amazing job talking about that, relating to his own life, and major respect for him with that. Kind of long worth of watching. And that was a kind of a brief story or history of her. Here is celebrity number 6, Brendan Fraser. And the person who wrote this put it, I don't know if he was canceled, but Hollywood did Brendan Fraser dirty. Glad to see him working again. I heard Doom Patrol's good, and turns out he was blacklisted, not canceled. Don't want to blur the lines between the two. So that was kind of a brief little thing about him. And celebrity number 7, Sinead O'Connor, I think you pronounce her name, spoke out against corporation and pedophilia in the Catholic Church very blatantly in the CNL Act, was completely removed from anything in the entertainment industry. Turns out the moral outrage, people should have listened. The person that wrote here said, I've seen in somewhat recent interviews that she is somewhat well adjusted despite it all, and she knew it was going to cross a line. Crossed the line when she did it, but she still believes pushed any investigations into such things forward and possibly gave people the courage to hopefully speak out. Celebrity number 8, Elizabeth Olsen. Her co-worker died, and she didn't post it on social media right away when it happened, so people bullied her off of her social media accounts. And it also says, you know who you are. If you were part of that mess, you didn't deserve to watch WandaVision or Doctor Strange 2. And then celebrity number 9, this one is Ashley Judd. Harvey Weinstein blacklisted her for years. Was incredible actress, IMO. And that's what it said about her, and that's about it. Number 10, Janet Jackson. After I might pronounce this word wrong, Nipplegate, I think, was a travesty in how she was treated like a para afterwards. Just want to throw it in here and planned it or not, so that's all it really says there. And then celebrity number 11 is Mara Sorvo, I think how you pronounce her name. She went from one of the most in-demand actresses after winning her Oscar to be completely blacklisted because Weinstein was telling everyone who listened that she was a diva and impossible to work with, when Peter Jackson was still making a lot through Miramax. Winston told him not to hire Jude, and people believed him, especially Jackson. Even when the movies eventually moved to New Line Cinema, He believed that Winston had told him and wouldn't work with them. When the Me Too started snowballing, Jackson remembered what Winston had told him about the two and apologized them for it. Celebrity number 12, Dixie Chicks. Dixie Chicks, this one still infuriates some people, especially the person who wrote this. How come they got banned from country music stations, yet Hank Williams Jr. didn't, after all the racist stuff he screwed about people like presidents. So that's all it really says about Dixie Chicks, honestly. Yeah. And then Celebrity 13 is about Kesha. And it says she isn't full on canceled, but what Kesha went through was messed up, and I'm just letting you know is what I'm reading off of a website. So I just want to let you guys know everything that I'm reading is off of a website. And yeah. Not only what she abused, but her abuser was part of the record label, and she wasn't able to leave her contractor. And then here is Celebrity 14. I don't know how to pronounce this celebrity's name, honestly, but I know who she is. But this is how you spell her first name. Wynonna. And her last name is Ryder. She got canceled from the spotlight for a long time until Stranger Things for some shoplifting. Sure, it's blank, but we are all human. And that's what it said on about her. And here is Celebrity 15. I don't know how to pronounce her name, honestly. I'm gonna try to, but Ingrid, I think how you pronounce it. And then Berman was unhappily married to a doctor named Peter Lindstrom, whom she had one child, Pia. In the late 1940s, she had an affair with an Italian director named Robert. I'm assuming this is how you pronounce his last name, Rossellini. I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. When news of the affair broke, she lost all her contracts. Her husband took her daughter, and scandal was an intense. U.S. senators gave speeches consuming her on the Senate floor. Because of the fallout, she wasn't allowed to see her daughter for 7 years and didn't make Hollywood movies for 7 years as well. And then here's Celebrity 16, Corey Feldman. He truly broke people's hearts. Had the chance. Some people had the chance to get to know him. The person who was writing this had the chance to get to know him when they were a kid in 2000, and he was a pretty normal guy then. Because of what the industry did what the industry did to make him, he was always made sure that I was taken care of on set, and that this individual person who's writing this was protected from the same stuff. And they believe that Hames dying really blanked him up again, and this person who wrote this is really grateful and look up to him and all of that. And then here is Celebrity 17, and it's really brief. It's about Hayden Christensen. He did nothing wrong. No actor should be maligned for decision making by the writers and director. And then here is Celebrity number 18, Liam Neeson. The man isn't just an incredible actor. He's an amazing human being who gives selflessly and asks for nothing. But because he admitted to having a racial violence way back when he was much younger and much more natives, everyone thought he literally said something was ashamed he'd ever had the first place and piece of blank. Journalists interviewing him twisted the narrative to make Liam to look racist just to make him the name for himself. And then Celebrity number 19, Megan Fox. Megan Fox deserved better than the way the media consistently sexualized her and ignored anything she had to say. She has had numerous interviews trying to talk about being uncomfortable sexualized by Michael Bay when she was a teenager, but the audience and interviewers would just cheer as if she wasn't talking about predatory behavior. Megan Fox is a smart and eloped, not the bimbo Hollywood would have you believed. Celebrity 20. This one is Rebecca Black. A lot of people know her as singing everyone was so mean over her song like over 10 years ago over Friday, and she was only 13, and yeah, just kind of bullied about that song. And yeah. Celebrity 21. I hope I pronounced the last name right. Or overall name. Hannah Kimura. She was I don't know, like Indonesian. I don't know. Let me pronounce the first word. Indonesian. Then Japanese wrestler who often played the heel, and she wanted to be an actress. When she was offered a chance to be in the reality show Terrace House, she jumped at it. As we all know, the reality shows are scripted, and sense of Hannah remembered a professional wrestler on the show, slapped, removed the other contestants' hat one, and scrolled him. Her Twitter and Instagram accounts were overrun with awful comments, racist criticism, and death threats for weeks, but over time it kind of went off and stopped. Part of the reality show producer's job is to know that the audience thinks of all of the stars, the company's moderators media covered social media trends that they knew, but right after quarantine started in Japan and re-aired the episode, she lived alone, and when the abuse began again, it must have seemed endless, and she apologized to people in the social media, and she was, I don't know at the time, I'm assuming, and she was 22. And Celebrity 22, we all know Lindsay Lohan. And from like 2 or 3 years ago, this individual saying that not sure canceled is the right word for them, but Lindsay Lohan, a phenomenon actress, and started at a young age, had really messed up parents, no guidance for anyone, and too much money, and that's all it really says about her. And then actress number 23, Amanda Bynes. Amanda, if you look into the reality, how creepy and awful that Dan Scroll, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Schneider was, it will kind of make overall sense, and that's all it really says. And then actor 24, Al Franklin, multiple Democratic senator told Jane Mayer in 2019 that they regretted forcing Al Franken to resign without an investigation. He wanted to appear before the Senate Ethics Committee, but was not allowed. And that's all it really says about him. And then actor 25, Ahmed Best played Jar Jar Binks and nearly ended himself over how hate an actor was. And that's all it says about him. And then actor 26, as an 80s kid who loved Pee-wee Playhouse, remembering how my parents tried to explain Paul Rubens getting canceled is hilarious. My dad told me he took off his clothes in the movie theater, and a kid like me was like, wow, that's weird, but I guess he is kind of crazy. And that's what it said in that. actor slash actress 27. I don't know how to pronounce this individual's name, so I'm gonna spell it out. The first name is Aziz, and last name is Ansari. That person definitely didn't deserve the public shaming he received for what amounted to an awkward bad date. And that's all it says about him. Number 28, Howard Dean. He yelled in excitement at one of his political rallies in 2004. People thought he wasn't fit to be president because of it. And that's all it says there. And then number 29, it says Jenna Marbles. Basically, people were angry at her old videos that she made 10 years ago, and while she already apologized for her actions and addressed how she now understands why it was inappropriate and meant, she felt that her presence on YouTube was causing more harm than good, and it was too much to keep rehashing the same issue, and she still streams with Julian all the time. And that was that. And then, so I guess it was just 29, not 30. I hope you guys like this episode, and let me know in the comments if you have thought about any celebrities that you felt like didn't deserve to get canceled, and explain brief of your reasoning. I would like to, or if you agree with any of these, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!